So I'm coming to you live from my studio. Check that car seat. What's up? I'm out on a drive by myself. I had to go and get groceries, and this is something I've started doing in the evenings, and it's really, really good. I can, just go out and be quiet, so it's been really awesome. The lighting is, my dome lights, but nonetheless, here we are. Because it's really, really hard to record in my house. I wanted to talk to you for a little bit about my new goal that I think you should join me on if you are a parent. And my goal is to parent like it's 1989. We are going old school, my dudes. We are not going to be held up by the paradigms of the 2010s any longer, 2020s. We don't have to. Quarantine is here. Quarantine has changed that. And as a Seattle mom, I'm telling you, we are free of those expectations. So today I was on the phone with my mother, and my mom is a major character in my life. She's one of my favorite people. And in our family, we describe people as just too mean to die. And that's what she is. That's who we are. Where it's like, death can try, but just too mean as a snake. It's not true. I mean, she's super loving, but she's having none of this hippie nonsense that I love. I am all in on hippie nonsense. But today I was talking to her, and my mom doesn't give out compliments. She really is not gonna say hey, you are just doing such a great job. I don't know if she's ever said that to me, despite the fact that she's prouder of me than anything in her life. I am the gold standard of what she has done with her life. But she doesn't call me and say you are just such a good mom. She's never going to, ever. And I've asked her, I'm like, you think that I'm doing okay, right? She's like, well, I would tell you if you weren't. I'm like, that is a compliment. If my mom hasn't told me that I'm screwing it up, it means the world to me, because that's enough. That's as far as it's gonna get. She's gonna give me so much shit for this, but she won't watch it anyways because it's too hippy-dippy for her. Nailed it. So I talked to her, and I was like, hey, I'm doing fine, right? Because she's not really a person that I share my deep inner feelings with. That's just for you, the internet. And she was like, are they fed? I was like, yeah. Well, if they're clean, they're fed, and they're watered, what else do you want? They're safe. I was like, yeah, but I feel so awful that I'm not doing enrichment and stuff with them. She's like, what are you talking about? They're with you, watching TV with you. They're safe. That's your entire job as a mother. They're safe. So, yeah. And that was the entire conversation for her. And I really struggle to adopt that attitude in my life and my parenting. I'm gonna try and move this and see what happens. Yeah, it's fine. I never give myself a pass on parenting. I always feel I'm not doing a good job. People are judging me. People are judging my kids. I'm not giving them enough attention. I'm giving them too much, whatever. I never feel confident in it, even though there's no reason I shouldn't. I get feedback pretty consistently that I'm doing a really good job as a parent. It just doesn't sink in. But when you think about it, I was born in 1984, and I was from a 2-parent home that was middle class, and my parents smoked in the house with me. I mean, through me going away to college, after college. My mom quit on and off throughout the years, and she hasn't smoked in 10 years. But for her 80th birthday, she wants a pack of cigarettes because she's going to start smoking again. And we have a deal that when she dies, I'm going to put cigarettes in her casket because that's a thing we do in my family from Virginia. So, yeah, like my parents just like smoked in the house and the TV was on 24/7. And neither of my parents went to college or anything. That wasn't realistic for them growing up. But they busted their ass to make sure that I always had enough, that we had food, that I went to Girl Scouts. My parents paid for undergrad, and my mom, she had her own business. My mom paid for my undergrad in cash by herself. That was really important to her, It obviously was both of their money. My parents were married, but like my dyslexic mom from the South had her own business, and she paid for her only child's undergrad in cash money from selling garden flags, which is like the most baller thing you could possibly do. I love that. So anyways, my mom was a really great mom, and she read to me all the time. She did a lot of wonderful stuff. I don't want to undersell her in any way. But it was not the parenting that we're doing now. There was not the same level of pressure and enrichment. It was the 80s and 90s. At that point, the food pyramid said that people needed like 8 to 10 servings of bread a day. You just would give kids like buckets of carbs and let them literally watch G.I. Joe cartoons where people would catch on fire. And it was just insane, a lot of the things that went on in the 80s and 90s. So I'm here to tell you and to tell myself, because I watch these actually. I find these really helpful because I'm articulating things that I think are true, but that sometimes I need to be reminded of as well. If what's happening right now is that you're keeping your kids inside and they're safe, they're fed and watered, and they know that they're like loved with a parent or caregiver or whatever, like you've already done it. You are parenting 1989 style. You're killing it. And my parents didn't get me subscription boxes for crafts or any of that. I'm an only child. I played by myself all the time. I listened to records and then to tapes and then CDs. And I drew and I read books. That's what I did. Those were the options. And like during the summer, my mom was home with me, but she worked from home for her business. So she and I would have lunch together, which I remember really fondly. Like we would read the newspaper at the table and eat sandwiches, or one summer, all summer, we ate frozen burritos and watched Antiques Roadshow at lunch. But like I remember that so lovingly, and your kids will remember something from this. And if all they remember is like you watching movies with them and snuggling, like those are really precious memories that they'll keep with them and that they'll kind of have emotionally in their pocket that they can always pull out. They probably won't remember being bored because it's not a concept for kids the way it is for adults. And kids need such high stimulation in some ways that you're never going to meet that need. You cannot have enough crafts and Legos to make it so that your 8-year-old is cool with being quarantined for 3 months. I'll say that again because I think it's really important. There is nothing you or I could do so that our children would not at some point be bored being quarantined for 3 months. It's impossible. No matter how much money you have, how much space you have, how many resources, even if you had an au pair, there's no way that this would not be unpleasant. So, I don't know, maybe like you and I together, we can just try to live with that, kind of. And that parts of this are gonna suck. It doesn't make us bad parents. And if it had been the 80s, there would be no Zoom preschool meetings, which I'm not attending because I don't want to. I'm not doing that. I have enough on my plate without trying to have preschool or Zoom meetings. Are you out of your mind? I'm not doing that. I don't know where my laptop is because the kid's in it. Like, how the hell am I going to log on to Zoom for a 4-year-old? No, thank you. Yeah, like, if this had happened in the 80s or the 90s, they might have emailed you worksheet pages, maybe, for, like, middle schoolers. But there'd be none of the rest of this crap. There would be no, like, weekly check-ins, and, you know, we wouldn't be watching authors reading their children's books. And, like, there's so much incredible stuff. All this technology that's letting us have these things. But that's the thing. These are bonuses. This is, like, icing. This is not the meat and potatoes that kids need and the parents need. If your kid just dicks around all day, then that's really good for them developmentally. You know? And so if you are able to and you choose to do the icing, if you choose to do preschool Zoom meetings and to do, you know, treasure hunts in the backyard with a map that you downloaded off of Pinterest, any of those things, and they give you pleasure, they give your children pleasure, fantastic. But you don't have to do it. You don't have to. I'm giving you permission. If you need it, I'm not kidding, I will send you a written permission to not do this bullshit. Because you don't have to. Because my mother certainly wouldn't have. Oh my God. My mother would not have done any of this. She would have told me to go peel some potatoes. And, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't imagine my mother doing this Pinterest stuff. Oh my God. So, I'm going to leave you with that. You are doing such a good job. You are keeping your kids safe and yourself safe. You're protecting your brain from turning into angry jello. Fantastic. And I think you're doing a really good job. And I'm doing a really good job. We're in this together. We're going to get through it. We're doing great. And one last thing. If you have a baby, especially if you are a nursing parent, you are exempt from everything. If all you do is take care of an infant, especially like a newborn, like if you have a newborn, anything you do is the work of God. It's so hard. So like if you're, I have friends who are nursing parents who are still working. It's like, that's an impossible feat. I find it stunning that people can do this. And in other countries, they're not expected to because it's not real, because it's not healthy for anyone. So, sorry, I'm getting punchy, getting angry. Think about universal health care. Yeah, you are doing great. Your kids will be fine. My kids now are getting macaroni and cheese for breakfast and frozen pizza for lunch every day because I needed to put that on autopilot. If they eat a vegetable, fine. Dinner is mother's choice, so they can eat it or not. I don't care at this point. Tablets are turned all the way up. TV is partying, all the PBS they can handle. And I have bought them so many new toys your head would spin. And I literally have let them use markers to color my body because sometimes I need them to stop talking to me. So if they want to give mom tattoos, yes. The answer is yes. All right. I hope you got something from this. But you know what? I did. I enjoy our time together because I miss my friends. And so many of you also are on the East Coast that it's not super feasible for us to talk. And a lot of friends have let me know that they're watching this. And it's not people that like I regularly talk to on the phone. They're internet friends. But like I'm so happy to be having this time with you. All right, I'm out. Deuces. You're doing great. I'm doing great. Go give your kids some fruit snacks from Aunt Stephanie. Yeah. Turn the TV on.